people are coming to the execution tomorrow.
It's on account of Corvo, the one who killed the Empress and abducted her daughter, Emily.
So it's an occasion.
Right. Social event for the high and mighty. Come see the noble Lord
Good for
Protector
you.
get his head
I
shaved.
hated that guy.
They're as bad as us betting on the dogfights.
Dishonored is a stealth game released in 2012 that will take you anywhere from 12 to 40 hours to complete. It looks aged, but the stylized graphics help keep it looking good. The main focus of Dishonored is to give the player choice. The game's story is rather linear, but still finds the opportunity to reward the player for exploring the map, even giving the player a heart to find bonus items scattered throughout the levels, which are usually tied together with a side objective or even a small mission. Dishonored also gives the player options on how to go about completing their objective, whether you want to run through the map, slaughtering every guard, civilian, and rat in your way, or if you want to sneak through every level, never being detected or killing a soul. Even the main targets have non-lethal options. The game, however, does have consequences to your choices. The more people you kill, the more rats and plague victims will appear, drawn by the dead bodies. Even if you save the princess, or in this case the daughter of the Empress, you may have a harsher ending for your choices. The characters in the game also react to what you're doing. Even the guards talk of your deeds. This makes your choices feel like they matter, like everything you're doing is affecting the world around you. After all, you're cutting the heads off the rotten tyrants controlling the Empire. You should feel something happening. Speaking of the heads that must roll, the characters in this game are somewhere between believable and storybook. Where all the main targets feel real, but they also have a hint of being a little two-dimensional, with only an emotion and a goal to drive them. But the characters that are helping you feel a little more filled out, with them having a goal of putting the Empress back in power, while also having their own reasons to do so. There's also the Outsider, who's your overpowered friend. He gives you his mark and his powers, not because he wants you to slaughter everyone, not because he wants you to put your life and the Empire back together, but because he wants to see what you'll do with them. The world is his entertainment. He just wants you to spice up the show a bit. However, every time you speak to him, the game makes him feel foreboding and eerie, with his world being a twisted and broken version of the one he yanks you out of. The sounds that fill the world are well mixed and satisfying, with the clashing of every sword sounding like a real battle. The magic also sounds fantastical and spooky, as the dark magic you use should. The voice acting is well done and brings the characters to life, with only a few of the lines having poor mouth syncing, leading to the blah 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 you just see in old games, but it only happened a few times during dialogue. The gameplay feels responsive, with the combat being more difficult the more guards that surround you, and if they feel they've watched enough of their buddies die, they'll run and try to get help. The movement can also add an extra layer of spiciness to the combat if you're inclined to attempt it. The stealth is satisfying, with the areas you can hide in being obvious at a first glance, and the takedowns, both lethal and non-lethal, feeling like they have some weight to them. Dishonored also has 5 DLCs, 3 of which are just trials and challenges with no story in them. The challenges are fun and difficult, with each one feeling different from the last, so if you're looking for more Dishonored, without the story, it's not a bad option to pick them up when they're on sale. The Knife of Dunwall and the Brigmore Witches follow the story of Dowd, the Empress's assassin. The Knife of Dunwall even starts strong with the actual assassination of the Empress. The story DLCs are strong additions to the game, with Dowd's powers having a twist to them and even some new ones. Unlike Corvo, the main character of the base game, Dowd has dialogue and is already a character when you play as him. However, the game doesn't have him judging what you're doing like he's sitting in the back seat, but rather has him filling the character you play as. Even though there are many good things to find in Dishonored, there are a few important critiques I've heard about this game. That you're hiding because you're dangerous to the enemies, not because they're dangerous to you. And frankly, I think it's right. This game makes you feel powerful. Even limiting yourself will only make the game a little more difficult. I would also add that buying the DLC gives the player a huge bonus at the beginning in the form of money and bone charms. However, you don't have to pick them up. Overall, Dishonored is an important staple in the immersive sim and stealth genre, showing that even a linear game can have options and different paths to go down. The world feels lived in, and that it changes as you do things to it. The details, no matter how large or how small, help you get immersed in what you're doing, and help you keep playing.